So I want to talk a little bit about the specific type of client before we get into some of the planning strategies and ideas without going too deep. What's a typical client that's working with you from a business perspective? And I realize that business means something to just about everybody, right? I mean, it might be somebody that's working with you guys for a qualified plan and like a 401k or defined benefit plan or something like that. But it also might be someone who's a small business owner that has a solopreneur kind of aspect where they're doing like a solo 401k or something like that. Can you talk about a general target customer that you guys are normally working with, or that's looking to you for advice?
Yeah. So I'd like to look at that in two different aspects, if you don't mind. So the first that we'll look at is the single entrepreneur owner that you alluded to, and then the second will be let's just call it 1,000 employee Fortune 500 company that we work with. So when we're working with single owner entrepreneurs, obviously we in the Austin community want to grow the Austin community. So we'll never turn an entrepreneur down who wants to come and learn about what they should be doing from a business perspective. But we're not always able to help every single entrepreneur. Where we're able to start really, really making an impact in the bottom line for an entrepreneur, not only in the business, but in their lives personally, is when they start bringing in over, let's just say $150,000, $200,000 net profit. When we run into a situation like that, that's when we're able to start implementing plans for those business owners that will allow for them to see similar benefits that a large company would implement for themselves. So looking at putting into place disability income insurance. If I had a money printer and I had the ability to insure my money printer to make sure that I never have that money printer stop working so that my income doesn't go away, I bet a lot of Americans would insure that money printer. Well, you working, you are the money printer. So if you're going to insure that money printer, why don't you insure yourself? Me, prime example for that, I got hit by a truck riding my bicycle. I needed disability income insurance. So the likelihood that someone is going to run into an issue sometime down the road where they're going to become disabled, highly likely. So not only putting into place that, but looking at retirement plans for them now. A lot of business owners think that, okay, I need to take care of my business before I need to start taking care of myself. That's the complete wrong mentality to have. Let's start putting money away from for ourselves and then continue worrying about the business. Because at the end of the day, if we look at the history of the United States, these retirement plans that were originally put into place were defined benefit plans. The company was putting money in on your behalf and also making sure you were saving as well. The transition happened and we went over to defined contributions, 401k plans. The onus is now all on the business owner or the employee to save. So if you now have the responsibility to save, but you had the mentality, I need to take care of my business before me. Well, that's the whole reason why America is in the biggest deficit of retirement assets needed in order to actually make it through retirement. So those are the areas that we look, two of the areas that we help business owners, solar entrepreneurs look at and identify. Obviously, there's very, very many more areas that we take a look into as well. But then shifting over to the larger employee count businesses that we work with. So those are a little bit more tricky because of the rules that come into place with non-discrimination and testing and things like that. So that's where we go in and we help businesses identify exactly the type of benefit that they want to be providing to their employee base, whether that is figuring out ways within the confines of the law to skew benefit towards the highly compensated group or owners, or whether it's truly providing a benefit for all the employees and then going in and figuring out, based on whatever it is that's trying to be accomplished, how we can accomplish that with the plan documents and within the confines of the law. So not only looking at different types of retirement plans, again, for those large companies, but then also looking at all the other aspects of finance and where a business spends their dollars. So I've helped companies of that size evaluate payroll providers. I've helped them evaluate different types of insurance policies that they have put into place or were thinking about putting into place for their business. I used to be the president of the SHRM chapter here in Central Texas in Williamson County. So really any questions that they have human resource related, we have access and the knowledge between our group inside internally at Strategic Capital, but then also with all of the connections and partnerships that we have created over the last 10 years of being in business.